stealing from the grown-ups, running from the tags as I dash through the grass every day, skipping class. My daddy don't be tripping, so you can kiss my ass. The doobie-doobie left-hand side, only 9 years old, getting high, getting high. I wonder why my teacher sweating me. I did my history, it don't relate to me. My GPA 1.3. See, I remember places, them names, streets, dates. Anybody rolling with stove and lights in place. But if that fake out of date shit wasn't in my way, ask me anything on where I'm from, I bet I get an A minus. In math, I am the finest. Counting mail faster than you can say your highness. Don't come at me with dryness, cause I know the definition of any slang word. So what's that synonym you wishing? I want to be a lawyer, accused a liar like LaToya, so I'm dropping the 4th grade, slanging lemonade. I am my own keeper, a young heart achiever. 10 cents a cup, I'm had to leave that shit to Beaver. Now I lay me down to sleep, cause I can't eat my noodles right. Dead bodies every other night, we fucking up the appetite. Tragedy is an everyday thing. Put on a video game, sip some tang if I can't stand the pain. Give me the knowledge from the street, now watch me learn it. I went to get a job, but too young for a work permit. Don't come my way, I might just have to get for you. They say we growing up fast, but we just dying fast.
Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete. Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete. Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete. Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete.
Well, it's June 17th, they couldn't have came to me no quicker. 11 years old, my chest a little thicker. How you figure? My life is gonna be bigger and better when that path I'm rolling on is similar to that cricket letter. Want to get a better view? Check out the avenue, it's drug infested. Planted there just for me to be tested on the hard concrete. Now it's 3 years later, can't fuck me literally, pop me up stacking that refrigerator. Clock, I see Shirley down the block in the bucket. She stepped to the back, that's when I stuck it. Fuck it. My first piece of butt, it was just my luck. Cause 9 months later at my door, she showed up. Damn, I was stuck, reminiscing in my seat. I just turned 16, but to me, it's not sweet. No education, this combination of ghetto life is a strain. Past the Bengay cream, 18 looking old as Don King. And dough in my brain, keep asking me, how many years is it until my life expectancy? Well, let's see, another 3 done ticked away. And now that hustling game's a part of me every day. My life is on the line, fool, you can catch my fist. Cause any other place can be a better place than this. I'm now dismissed, my body hit the concrete. The bullet had no name as it was introduced to me. The next morning, headline front page. Young man shot cause of death, old age.
I knew I had to rise above it all, or drown in my...
Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete. Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete. Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete. Always dropping, eager to fill a cap. Slam the charm on the hard concrete.
Man, this is really something.
Got the dope and the hope out there.
While growing up in the ghetto.
Yo, what's going on? Surfing the Apocalypse, episode 17. I'm your host, Blaxican, NPC the Game, with the real life Morpheus, on code 24/7. What's going on, man? Are you zombie fight
What's
out?
going on, bro?
It's chilling, man.
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Shout out to, in the chat already, the intellectual imbecile. What's going on? Rant, aka Mike, my brother from another. What's going on, man?
Mike,
Shout out to
my man, Mike.
my Mike, aka Rant. Shout out to Shadow Buddha
Shout
with
out.
the comment. Shout out to the big homies, Black Skin and On Code 24/7. That's it, yeah.
My guy.
Hey,
My guy.
my guy, yeah. So we're gonna go over these the Zombieland, man. I mean, you don't have to go down Kensington Avenue in PA, which is the mecca of this Walking Dead, due to the illegal drug epidemic. You can see it in your own neighborhood, probably, you know. And it might not be heroin or fentanyl. It might be antidepressants or too much TV. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of zombified people out there right now. Why do you think that is, On Code?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like that order out of chaos thing. Like, I'll let you, you know how the feds let you run up a case before they really come. It's like, I'll let you get so far out of hand that when I come clean it up, you know what I mean? You'll be begging me to come clean it up.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like problem reaction solution, you know, order. I mean, get the chaos going, and they love to do that order, try to make that order and redefine how things were in their way, the social engineers way, to benefit them. But a lot of times they cause the chaos with their trying to overdo everything on things we don't need. And it goes back to this, we were talking about Plato's Republic, which is the writings that the Western mind is, you can say, basically is based on. His writings about his dialogue with his teacher, Socrates, right? The freaky deaky Greeks. And he has that book, The Republic, which says a lot about how to, in his opinion, how to govern and create the perfect city. And some of the ideas that he talks about in The Republic, Plato, is it's later on down the line became called eugenics, right? So that's a buzzword that, though it's not a buzzword, it's been around for a long time. Listen to this, on Cone. Give me your thoughts. Let me play this professor that studied Plato, what he had to say about Mr. Plato.
All right, let me see what you got.
Let me play the sound.
Guardians will have wives and children. Point is that the guardians will have wives and children in common. Just as they can have no private property, there will be no private family life among them. Socrates must prove that this arrangement is both desirable and feasible. So first,
No public property for families. You hear that? It's not good.
guardians will have wives and children
Yeah.
in common. Just as they can have no private property, there will be no private family life among them. Socrates must prove that this arrangement is both desirable and feasible. So first he discusses its benefit or desirability.
So Socrates in Plato's Republic is going to make a case for why it's feasible or beneficial for they call them the guardians, but I think they're referring to the regular people, citizens or plebs, right? Why is it beneficial for them not to have any property? Let's see. Which sounds stupid, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's hear what he has to say.
To ensure the health of the ideal city, we will need breeding rules for male and female guardians, he says.
Oh, breeding rules, huh? Breeding rules, huh? First of all, the word
Right,
breeding
there you
sounds
go.
like an animal, right? Not a human. Humans have sex, make love if you're romantic, but breeding. So he's already looking at the plebs plebetarian, which means like the public, as animals.
These rules should be rational, and as with animals, the best should be bred with the best. But
Okay, the best should be with the best. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
that's
what's wrong with that?
natural selection.
Yeah. Don't you want to find the best partner for you? Right, Uncode?
Yeah, I mean, but that's gonna be a trickle down effect. You know what I mean? Who's second best got to get with second best, and third, and so forth.
Yeah. Yeah, but you make the choice. You're not having an outside force making the choice for you who you choose to be with, right? Directing it that you know
Right.
of, right? This sounds a little bit more sinister and subversive. Let's see. Continue.
this eugenics program will require lies and deception.
Wait, he just said it right there. Eugenics. This is in Plato's Republic. This program will have lies and deception. Okay.
Yeah, there you
Socrates says. In order to succeed, the breeding program must be concealed from the guardians themselves.
What are they the guardians of? Their freedom? So it has to be concealed, right? Because who would want to be forced to be with someone that, if you're not a quote unquote elite, be with someone who's lesser, right? They would have to do this in secret.
Right. I mean, it's kind of what, Adolf was kind of talking about,
Yeah. Right. The Austrian painter, definitely.
He suggests numerous pretexts, including lotteries and other staged events, to make the guardians think that their mating habits are governed by chance rather than being intelligently directed.
Lotteries. How would lotteries dictate people hooking up? Random events or what? I don't think they're talking about like Powerball lotteries. They're talking about situations where chance, like where maybe like at work, a lot of people meet their partner, right? At work or at school, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the work in school, if we're talking about elites, because it seems like the Republic was written for elites to manage the so-called lower class, right? So they would meet people in their schools and their organizations that were only with them, right, and kept everyone else out.
Well, yeah, and they probably been doing this dance for a minute. When you think about the Egyptian, kind of keeping it in the family and the whole bloodline, going back.
Yeah. Bobby Hemmett would say, like, it only takes a few to manage. It'd always be a few people managing the majority of society, and that's the evidence he put out for having these small groups that he would talk to, and he would tell them a lot of times, you guys were the only conscious people probably in in this room. Everyone else that you know probably is like basically an NPC asleep, right? Make them feel good. But then he would say that about the elites. It's always been like this. Don't get discouraged. It's always been a small group of people leading people and directing people where to go, where their consciousness needs to go. I mean, if you're doing good, that's a good thing. But if you're into doing some stuff that hurts people, that's a horrible thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Natural selection opposed to pre-selected selection.
Pre-selective selection. This is what they're talking about.
Strength. His second point is that the guardians will have wives and children in common. Just as they can have no private property, there will be no private family life among them. Socrates must prove that this arrangement is both desirable and feasible. So first he discusses its benefit or desirability. To ensure the health of the ideal city, we will need breeding rules for male and female guardians.
So yeah, so it's gonna be the breeding rules. I mean, the people, the common people will stay with the common people, similar to Kensington Avenue, right, where all these people are basically rotting together, right? That's like an extreme form of it, right? The lowest of the low.
Right. Kind of remind me of like that Ben Ishmael tribe, that like triracial, like
Mm.
nomadic,
Mm-hmm.
America, the government don't fuck with you.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. It gets that vibe. Listen to this.
What's up, fellas? You got the blues? You guys doing foil in there? Doing the foil?
Hey, man, get the fuck out of here, bro.
All right. Well, this is routine. Everyone's just using like it's nothing.
You're doing the foil
You got
at the open air drug market. Yeah, and by the way, this is Surfing the Apocalypse, episode 17. Zombieland, open air drug market, psychedelic psyops, and rolling loud. All right. So this is Pike Street, famous street in Seattle, Washington, and 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
You got the tweaking happening there? You got the blues?
Yeah, like because
This is the ongoing drug use, and
normally everybody's lined up on this side and that side doing drugs.
I mean, even right now.
And so this is all broken ring.
What's up, fellas? You got the blues? You guys doing foil in there? Doing the foil?
Hey, man.
Look at that. What is that? It looks like a kid, huh? I can't even tell if it's a woman.
Yeah.
You can't even tell if it's a woman, these people. A man or a woman. That's what bad shape they're in, bro. Hey, this is all the races coming together, right?
Right.
Off of Foily. That's bad. Bad news, bro.
Doing the foil?
Hey, man, get the fuck out of here, bro.
All right.
Look at all of them. They don't even look that old, right? Some of these people look very young.
Yeah, they don't really be that old.
Look at this guy's dark eyes with the hair in front of his face. He looks like death.
All right. I mean, this is routine. Everyone's just using like it's nothing.
Foil party.
Foil party everywhere.
Everywhere we go.
Is this normal, Tom? San Francisco?
Normal too. Foil
Late?
blows in the wind in San Francisco.
Foil just blows in the wind.
San Francisco, shout out to my home area.
The foil? Just want to introduce you to my crew.
Who's the fact that this person was there?
No, she's cool. She's cool. She's cool.
Bro,
She's cool. She's cool.
that's one thing I learned too when I used to go around the city, and when I was in college over there on Market across the street from X, Twitter, and I go to the Haight Ashbury, and there's a lot of homeless people there, a lot of people that were on psychedelics in the past that never got their mind back, never came back from a trip. And I remember one time I was filming these people play the drums in the drum circle, and behind me was a lady looking like this with this, and I wasn't even paying attention to her, and I was just scanning, filming it on this Saturday morning, and she got so angry, bro, like she wanted to kill me, man. And she was like, just know that a lot of people, some of us have been traumatized with these cameras and whatnot. And when she said that, I just thought about like MK Ultra ritual abuse type of shit going on. The way she was looking and how she was triggered, bro.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense, bro.
Yeah.
She's cool. She's cool. Don't worry. She's with me. Is it like this in Reno, Nevada too?
It is not this bad, dude. Because they don't have this open air. It's like, yeah.
It's like every corner though, right? Every corner open air.
It's unacceptable. It's a social norm out here.
Social norm. Yeah. How much you selling these for?
I'm going to go for 90.
90. That's like retail, man.
90. He boosted that, huh? Look at that.
Jay talking about this retail.
What are those Dior shoes or something?
220 retail?
at the
What
Nike-
numbers are these?
Nike store.
We still got the security tag on it.
That came on it.
How'd you get it?
I got LeBron.
You got LeBron?
Yeah.
All right, you bought them with the security tag? All right, all good. They didn't take it off. All right, so they're telling me that they have goods in there with security tags that they didn't take off, but they somehow bought it. So
They didn't have to.
yeah, so I think when you're stealing, obviously,
Well, yeah, and they just let you walk out with it now.
yeah, it's just out of control.
Portland, I tend to avoid it, and because I'm not with people like you, I'm not with y'all, I'm usually by myself.
Yeah,
I just walk as fast as I can.
got it. Doing that.
She seemed like she. I don't know that she was who Plato was writing to. I get that vibe. I mean, I can understand why she want to clean up the streets. Maybe not even for these people, looking at them as people, but because if you live in one of these swanky ass condos, you don't want people like this setting up shop, being a nomad in front of your front door, huh?
It is crazy. Like, you would think they would understand the social engineering or understand how we got here. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
they still just blame them. Like, lock these guys up.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can understand though if you live in one of these places. But first of all, I ain't trying to live in one of these places. If you could afford one of these swanky condos, you can afford to live in the damn suburbs or something.
Was that the blues?
No.
Is that the blues? Not blues?
No.
Okay. I mean, every vestibule, there's drug use. This is what we have to show the city of Seattle, right? I mean, this is on a Sunday morning.
Everybody's on fentanyl and meth. There's foil all over the street.
So he's from Tom Wolfe, Pacific Alliance for Prevention and Recovery, San Francisco.
They don't care that it's raining because when you're an addict, it doesn't matter that it's raining. And the big thing I want to point out to everybody is the demographic. If you notice the people on the street, there's some OGs out here, but it's mostly young white boys that are out here. Mostly. In their early 20s. And so you have to start asking yourself, why is that?
It's the same. But wait a minute, they're
Why is that? They're disillusioned like everyone else, black and white, huh?
Well, I mean, it could be directed at them. Like,
Yeah.
it could be, like they trying to reduce the, numbers on Earth. So it's like you might not fit into the calculation. We might have to knock some of ours off to make it look like we unbiased. So.
Yeah, because think about it, bro. Like for brothers, it was like I didn't know too many people that were doing when I was younger, like psychedelics that were black, or let alone heroin and meth, and coke. You just stuck to weed and beer, basically, right? And maybe like a brown liquor, and but some of my white partners, especially from the Midwest in Chicago, they were introduced to heroin and coke at an early age like it was nothing. Even in my high school, bro, it was a Catholic Jesuit high school, so they would have a mass once a year, and you didn't have to go to it because, first of all, like a lot of the people weren't even Catholic; they just went there because it was a good school. And so that one morning where they had the mass once a month, you can go to school late. And I remember some of the the white partners, they would be in their Jeeps and shit and Cherokees in the parking lot, like snorting coke, like it was like nothing, bro. And this was in high school, man. I wasn't even smoking weed back then, but it's crazy how it does seem like the social engineers are really targeting our white partners with those hardcore drugs too, huh?
I mean, if you ain't manufacturing it yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you ain't pressing the pill yourself, they let y'all get them. If they wanted it to be us, it'd be us. You know what I mean?
Right. It would be.
When they wanted us to be us, it was us.
It was like during after the war, we saw in real life, but also in Dead Presidents about the people the veterans get back from the war, and they get flooded with heroin. You know, it's hard to find a job. They have post-traumatic stress syndrome, problems with their partners and shit. And, yeah.
You remember that movie, American Gangster?
Yeah.
The dope in their bodies.
Right. Literally using the military for that to bring back get the drugs over here and put them in the hood. Right. And they were getting it from the ex-Taiwanese generals that were in Thailand and Burma that were acting like warlords after they lost to Mao Zedong in the Chinese Civil War, growing the drugs there and then bringing them back. Yeah. Let me see. I put the link in there so if people want to come up. And what's your thoughts on this open air drug market, Zombieland, and how Plato's Republic has a lot, might be some of the foundation for this zombified behavior, socially engineered behavior. Let's see. Let me go back to the Plato, where we're at.
He says, these rules should be rational, and as with animals, the best should be bred with the best. But this eugenics program will require lies and deception, Socrates says. In order to succeed, the breeding program must be concealed from the guardians themselves. He suggests numerous pretexts, including lotteries and other staged events, to make the guardians think that their mating habits are governed by chance, rather than being intelligently directed. Strength.
Yeah, I guess you do need a working class to do the manual labor, right? If you're a so-called elite, right? You also need an army of soldiers, and those wouldn't be picked from not the elite, but the so-called elite, but from the public citizens, you know, the plebs. Yeah. Yeah. Bring up mystery.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Your thought.
I was gonna say they probably like trying to do their own great flood, but they, just so you know what be there. We talking about that 1,400. What is it? 44,000. The chosen.
Yeah, 144,000. Yeah. Get him in line. We're gonna bring up Mystery Ozo. What's going on, Ozo? What's going on? You ready?
What's up, man? Chilling.
Chilling, man. Just looking over this. We're looking over this Plato's Republic. How he was talking about eugenics and seeing how it relates to these open air drug markets in Seattle and San Francisco and Kensington Avenue, PA. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah.
I'm just over here chilling, smoking, man.
What'd you say?
I'm over here just chilling, just burning it down, fam. You know?
Yeah. What do you think about that, bro? You've seen that up close, right? Like some of these walking Zombieland areas.
Like, what you mean? Like, where they allowed, like in the movie? The TV show, where
The Wire.
Yeah, where they allowed
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam. Yes, they did this in Boston.
Yes, they did it in Boston.
Yes, they did it in Amsterdam.
Wow.
It was crazy. You couldn't even drive your car down them streets, because there was so many bottles and vials on the floor that people were selling crack in these little containers. So when you're driving, you're just popping over. You're going over nip bottles and crack vials and drug needles and all kind of stuff. It was crazy, and it was like It was really like Amsterdam, just like in The Wire. It was worse than that, probably. Boston was out of control. They let it ride for a while, but now I think they started cleaning it up now. They got it out of there because it was too much.
Yeah, man, Claude, I didn't know that about Boston. Did you?
Mm-mm. I ain't know they. But see, I
You can
was
find
saying that earlier.
Yeah.
you'll find
Yeah.
images. You find images of the boss of this district where they allowed drug district. Like you know what I mean? They gave a whole section to allow it to be. Yo, there was camping. It was like it would became crazy. There was like tent city. Yo, it was like
Hmm.
you feel me? Like they got stuff like that in different places everywhere. You know, feel me? But
Right.
in Boston, it was like new because like people have been getting locked up out here just for weed back in the day, just for anything you getting locked up out here. So it's like all of a sudden they just allowed Amsterdam, like in the public, like people just smoking crack right there in front of the police and everything. Like it was wild, yo. People
Dang, in
was
front of them,
leaning,
huh?
yeah, right in front
They're
of them. The
leading.
police
You said they
leaning,
were
bro.
leading.
Yo, people was out there leaning, dog. Like it was crazy. It looked like zombies, like walking the Walking Dead. You know what's crazy about that? Talking about The Walking Dead, um, I watched this documentary, dog. That they was like everything's kind of like a psyop. Drugs are not manufactured here in the United States. They're brought here, and we get our
Hmm.
hands on them like conveniently, like they allow
Hmm.
it into through the docks and all that stuff. This is a lot. They already know that they're not going to make sales, and the drugs move the economy. You feel me? So
Right.
um and this is crazy how the psyop part was the Fetty, right? Nobody in the hood's making Fetty, and
Hmm.
this fentanyl was they had there was all kind of things happening to people that were injecting themselves. They were getting bad Fetty. They were
Hmm.
having like um they had to get their arms amputated. Like weird stuff was happening to people that their necrosis was happening to people's bodies.
Mm.
And
Yeah. You talked about
yo,
that on Code. The skin
man,
falling off their body and all that.
man, things that
Yeah.
only happening to them, like that a human. It was like a lab, like we're lab rats, bro, to
Hmm.
experiment on, and then going down this rabbit hole. Go look at the rabbit hole of the how they was keeping the rats in that mouse, the mouse city, the city with the
Yeah, we
mouses.
talked about that on my last month. We
Hold
talked
on.
about that. Yeah.
Dude,
What was that?
dude,
It's
What was
called
the mouse city?
it's
you know,
called it's called
down the
uh
rabbit hole,
the
down the
the
rabbit,
the
the mouse utopia.
mouse, yeah, Mouse Utopia. God damn, I can't remember. You need the number. It's a number. It's yeah, Mouse, yeah, Utopia. Here, I'll
If
look
you
it
go
up right
look,
here.
if you go look on YouTube, you will find it. Like
Yeah.
the mouse utopia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's down the rabbit hole. It'll say down the rabbit hole. The mouse utopia. That is out of control. How they watched, things unravel within organisms that are on the microcosm. You feel me? Like we're on the bigger
Universe
apex.
25.
Yeah, yeah. We're on a bigger apex of animal levels. So you feel me? Like there's different animal species of animals in the way they operate and the way they move. Like you feel me?
Hmm.
Ants are on a high level, probably higher than ours. But just to give an example, but there's animals that do things in a certain level. Like us, we consider ourselves, intelligent in our society. The things, the causes and effects of whatever. But in that mouse utopia, they they made it like they just only build the projects. They built the projects
Well,
and the project life evolved. They
it
did
was
certain
nice.
things.
It
Yo,
was
they
nice at
did.
first because they didn't have very many people, and the more people they crammed in there, the worse it got. The more degenerate it got, the more violent it got, and it got so bad that some of the men rat, they didn't even want to have sex anymore with the female. They just want to hide out and like look in the meat, like print,
Yo, they
clean
did. They
themselves
did.
up.
They did so many
Yeah,
things. Like they made a spot where they made a high rise where the rats wouldn't have to leave nowhere, and they would get all their
yeah.
food and they would get everything. It was like where rich people would live. And then they made a ghetto
Hmm.
one spot where they didn't have nothing. They had to fight over scraps and all this other stuff. So they showed how the rats migrated. They went to the towers and they destroyed that shit and they took over where the other rats was living. And the rats that was living up there were all bored. They didn't even eat their food. They were
Yeah,
all like
they
it
didn't
was
want to have sex.
crazy. Everything, yes, everything evolved just like an hour fucking society because they built the
Yeah.
blueprint like Monopoly, like a Monopoly board.
It's Malthusian, meaning like the more you have, the more resources are being like competed for, like the more negative. Look at this. Listen to this right here. There you go. Let me fix this shit.
His experience with the rats made special changes to encourage specific behaviors. He enticed the rats to use one of the center pens by making the spiral staircase to that pen's living spaces shorter than the others, though he admits this was a comparatively small factor. But the more insidious change was to their food supply. In half of the experiments, Calhoun supplied powdered food, but in the other half he placed feeders of his own design, consisting of hard pellets behind a wire mesh. Half of his experiments began with 32 mice, the other half with 56, of evenly male and female composition, and all having just reached maturity. Calhoun estimated that approximately 40 rats could comfortably be housed in these enclosures, but he would allow these populations to increase to 80 before he would cull them. Almost immediately.
You see that? Double. You seen that played out in the projects?
In the projects.
Yeah. Talk about it.
Keep going with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta think like outside of the obvious of being called a project, you gotta think like on a basic logical scale, if I box, it's like that movie Fallout. You know what I mean? If I box you in limited resources, the treachery gonna come out. All kind of wild shenanigans gonna come about from manipulating the resources, you know what I mean, down to where you sleeping.
Right.
The water and all that. So it's pretty, you know what I mean? It's a mirror match. He basically took what he did with the mice. They took what they did with the mice and was like, oh, okay, well, let's play with the resources and let's, you know what I mean? Let's play with the nuances of the resources and see what outcomes we can get. Can we induce violence? Can we induce effeminate? Can we induce, you know what I'm saying?
And then all those things happen, man.
You should have played out the whole blueprint.
Let me go. Yeah, let me see. I'll play some more.
They use that on society. That's just society is not your friend.
Yeah, we'll show you this. Ozo, check this out, bro. I don't know if you saw this part. We started with reading from Plato, who's basically known as the philosopher, where the Western mind came from, right? And he's talking about doing these things like it's a good thing. Check this out. This is Plato, bro. All these teachers and so-called intellectuals love this guy. Politicians, I can see why, because their power is solidified with this. Let's see. This is wild. This is super wild to me, bro. Eugenics.
Wives and children in common. Just as they can have no private property, there will be no private family life among them. Socrates must prove that this arrangement is both desirable and feasible. So first he discusses its benefit or desirability. To ensure the health of the ideal city, we will need breeding rules for male and female guardians, he says. These rules should be rational. And as with animals, the best should be bred with the best.
You hear that? Ozo?
Yeah.
But this eugenics program will require lies and deception, Socrates says. In order to succeed, the breeding program must be concealed from the guardians themselves. He suggests numerous pretexts, including lotteries and other staged events, to make the guardians think that their mating habits are governed by chance, rather than being intelligently directed.
What do you think those lotteries are now, Ozo? We were saying that maybe there's like when you go to work, I mean, you end up a lot of times people meeting their husband or wife or whatever.
Simpler than that, just like the rat thing, right? They're just simpler than that, like Black Friday, you know what I'm saying? Like days off from work. You know what I'm saying? Like certain
the weekend,
things.
the club.
Yeah, the club, the weekend, those
Yeah,
are the booby traps. Those are
yeah.
the booby traps. Those are the reasons why you
Uh huh.
justify why you work, why you do stuff.
Right,
You justify that stuff.
right. That makes sense because, like, before I met my wife, my last girlfriend, I met her at a club, a club, right? And then when but where I met my wife, I mean, that didn't work out. But where I met my wife was at, I guess you could say, a more positive place, like a yoga studio,
Yeah.
right? More upper, upper class type of place, and we're going strong, like the 11 plus years right now. We have a great son and everything. So yeah, that was the lottery. Most people get stuck in the lottery, and yeah, man, this is wild, bro. Because this Plato is the guy that makes up the Western mind.
Bro,
You
those are
know.
lotteries. If you think about it, like going to clubs and mingling,
Hmm.
and those are
Hmm.
lotteries if you see if you get a winner.
Hmm. Pick a winner. Pick a winner. And because Uncle, you're DC, right? So, did you ever go to those go-go clubs? Is that what they call go-go music or something like that? They're pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can get wild.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about, doing some research on that because, in voodoo ceremonies, they play a lot of congos. It'd be different sets of congos.
Hmm.
And ironically, they use a bell. And then go-go,
Yeah.
they use a cowbell and a bunch of set of
Mm.
congos.
Yeah.
And actually, the bell in the voodoo ceremony is called like a go-go. The bell that they use in the ceremony. But
Uh-huh.
um, as far as like the dating thing down here, like I just kind of made a video. I was talking about like dating being eugenics, like with the because like when I was looking into Project 2025, they was talking about you had to be married to get certain resources, or they
Hmm.
was implementing marriage in some of their stipulations.
Hmm.
So I just remember the guy in the video was like, "Yeah, single moms they're not saving you no more."
Mm.
So when you think about shit like that, I did that series about the Arm and Hammer propaganda. Like when you think about what we've already been indoctrinated with. So like if we was raised in Islam and in Islamic state and we recognize plural marriage, it wouldn't be taboo, right?
Yeah.
But because we raised under a Christian umbrella, we look at plural marriage as not, I mean, like a sin, but if it's a sin,
Hmm.
then it's evil, it's of the devil. So we look at plural marriage. But I was telling my neighbor this the other day, uh, I think that's why they call a third party cheating because the way America's set up, if I'm supposed to work and she's supposed to be a housewife, that's one income. If
Hmm.
I get with a third partner and bring a third income or second income, now I'm cheating the game. Now I done beat the game
Hmm.
because I don't have to stay on the hamster wheel. If I got a housewife and a kid and I'm the only one working, it ain't but so far we gonna get. America understands that. The government understands that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
You can even take it further with the if you have a extra wife, a couple extra wife, you have more kids, children, right? What are children and become young adults and young men? They can become your soldiers for your community. I think that's another reason why the polygamy is frowned upon and illegal. Because a lot of these Mormons, for example, they literally have little cities and army if they want. The government ain't trying to have any competition on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, bro, bros can't even take care of one woman or one child, let alone a harem of sister wives. So,
see, that's
but
the
there are
thing.
some guys that can probably. I bet Ozo could. He has a pretty good setup. It seems like.
But see, that goes into kind of like what I was saying. If I'm going to initially say women can't get jobs, and then I'll move the needle to I'll pay them less. To now, I move the needle to I want to hire the sexy girl in the short skirt over my man right here with the beard and the big muscle. Like I'd rather come into work and see the little chick with the short dress. So now that chicks is
Yeah.
getting money, you right now that chicks getting money. Ain't no more housewife. That was a dynamic under rule of law. Like they not gonna hire you. You a woman. You know what I mean? You ain't got no fucking rights. You know, it almost is Islamic in a sense,
Mm.
but you feel what I'm saying? It's like now that you can go get a job, they fuck around, hire you over me. You want to work with me every day? I'm 6'5", intimidating you. You want to work with the chick with the big tits? You gonna pick the chick? You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now it hit different if you got polygamy. It's like it might work better if you two bitches go to work and I sit in here and mop the fucking floor because both of y'all making $70,000. That's 140. You know what I mean? Like that's 100. Like fuck my little Walmart job. You motherfucker.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, they can make money. I'm not promoting this. They can make money on OF. That's the thing, though. If you're talking about Islamic, I see what you're saying. But the one thing I do like about some of the Islamic laws, especially dealing with family, is it kind of shields your wife or wives from unwanted attention in terms of like sexual harassment and stuff too. Because if she stays home and takes care of the kid, there's not all that opportunities for men to act wild, you know, try to get at them and whatnot and stuff too. 'Cause that's one reason why a lot of people I know, like, they don't want their wife to work too, is because they don't trust the other fools out there. I mean, maybe they trust their wife and whatnot, but trust can only take you so far, you know.
I mean, it's a crime,
in this
you
in this
know.
crazy world.
This what this what I'm saying. If your wife pick up the phone and call 911, they gonna come and pick you up, or they gonna come and they coming with the guns. So it work no different than at work. If some dude trap you in the elevator, you say, "Hey man, I just was assaulted." It worked no different than domestic violence. Hey, I was assaulted. This dude done broke me in the motherfucking elevator. The police gonna come when you call. So
Yeah.
she good either way. You know what I mean? They gonna come for you and they gonna come for them. She got that cell phone in her pocket.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like the way I set it up. Like, I'd rather my wife just stay home while my son is young and take care of him. I mean, of course, like, more money is always great and whatnot, but she's doing a great job taking care of my son and taking care of the house and me, you know. Like, so I don't mind going out there and getting after it. Yeah. I just don't trust motherfuckers. Maybe that's just me. I don't know how Ozo is, but like, I don't trust people, man. Yeah. What's that, man?
Can't trust nothing, man. We be thinking we know stuff and we don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're
Right.
doing stuff that is out of habit, like little
Yeah.
things, like almost on topic what we're talking about, like you ever seen somebody knock on wood or something like that? Like, you feel me? Knock on wood. That's an old, that comes back all the way from the Druids, from the pagans, that they would knock on wood to summon demons from the forest to ask them for favors. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we don't even know why we knock on wood, and it is not for good luck. It was for asking favors from demons. You know what I'm saying?
And kind of wake them up.
Yeah.
Like, hey.
They lived in the trees. The demons lived in the
Yeah.
trees. So that's why they would knock on the trees.
Hey, they do that same shit in voodoo. You ever seen people tap on the bottom of their drinks?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah, I
tap
noticed
on the
that
top
before.
of the drink? They say that's to wake the spirits up.
Word. That's crazy.
All kinds of stuff, bro. Yeah.
You got some
Let
more
me,
clips of the Zombieland?
yeah, let me play this Jay Electronica for a second. All right, and then I'll play some more. Let's see. And I'll play the Zombieland clip.
There ain't no zombies like in Haiti though. Those are zombies for real.
Right, bro. They have you like turning into this.
That's true.
Work for Rumsfeld. It began in the Nixon administration when Rumsfeld was looking for a staff aide.
One day, Don called me and said there's a young intern on the Hill named Dick Cheney.
It's your boy on code and
I'd
Ozo.
like you to interview him and see what you think.
Dick Cheney.
I think this guy's pretty good. Hire him.
They would be closely linked.
The song's called Dimethyltryptamine.
Pigs with the heads of men spat acid that lays up my third eye closed like acid. A midget in the casket like a baby in the bonnet with a bottle in the basset. Horn playing the theme song from Children of the Corn. Oh, I must be dreaming. A lady in the nightgown puffing, kush screaming, signaling me over. You with the waves. I see you from the Catholic church people digging graves. I got your number, sonny, so ain't no use in fighting, yelling, and running from me. I never ran, ma'am, but then you ain't a clever man, Sam. Listen, the two-faced king from Britain and Rome had a baby in the bush on the grassy knoll where they peeled back the orange hair peel of a gnome. He said he's MC. I know you like killing them. You terrorize the skies for 25 millenniums. Now you setting fire to land, you the lion, you the savior, the messiah, the lamb. You need backup, he moving on to you that dawn. Call Badu and get Tyrone on the megaphone. Tell him I sent you when your code name is Megatron. If trouble come, use your brain like a telephone. He'll take you to the chocolate city, where Two-Face and the Prince of Darkness had a committee of snakes. Drill him, let the skin peel off till we fill him. Spray him with the rhymes you like spilling. Hit him up real good, but don't kill him. We only want to burn him to the point that they willing to give the location of the blank-faced villain who split atoms and give mushrooms to civilians. Hiroshima never recovered, and all the evidence was smothered. Under a thick cloud of rubble, the Pope is his brother, the hillsides is his mother, the statue with the torch and still eyes is his lover. She's a harlot who stood still like time while New York turned scarlet and the levee monster sucked up New Orleans while they was playing man versus man in Afghanistan with their mind on Iran, Iraq and Sudan. Let them recruit you. He don't try to use his power to subdue you. Let them think that the feeling is mutual. Cause if he found out that you already knew that Adam had a positive, a negative, and a neutral, he'll probably salute you. The way you turn it back like a tiger is shooting, and this is the truth.
Kind of had a Wu-Tang vibe to it.
Yeah, it did. What this has a Backstreet Funk vibe to it right here. This Kensington Ave. This is from last week. What's up with that lean? How do they do that?
Balance. That shit gives you ill balance.
Shit.
Heroin has ill balance.
Those are poppy seeds, right? Basically poppies.
Yeah.
Poppies, yeah. That's got what they call dope sick love, right? There's a lot of couples like that are out there. Yeah. Enabling each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commercial for the dog. Eyes of an angel.
What? In the eyes
It's
of an
like,
angel, like the dog.
yeah.
The oh my god. It's stupid. In the eyes. Oh, man. Now I gotta look for that song now. Hold on.
What, man? Eyes of an angel, man.
I got you. I got you, fam. That's a.
So you gonna sponsor? You gonna sponsor one of the junkies?
you guys are wrong.
You know what song you're supposed to put? I need drugs.
Oh no, that one almost got us banned.
Necro, yeah, you about to get banned.
Yeah. There you go.
This one is Necro, yo, the I need drugs. Man.
Downward. This guy's probably like, he's probably like 21. He looks like he's like 48.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how
Sometimes that shit makes them look young too, though. Some people younger. Nah. It's just It's just that they probably would have looked super young without it, huh? When they're older.
Yeah.
No.
There's some of them that they just like, you know what I mean? They look young and shit. Like there's a lot of, but it still deteriorates the shit. It makes motherfuckers look super old, bro. When they, especially when they clean up, when they stop using it, that's when it really kicks in. The old like come.
Oh, like, it hits them all, huh?
Yeah, it sticks to your face like it never comes off you. It's just crazy.
It's kind of like how an Asian woman will be like 40 years old, 50 years old, and still be hot. But when she hits like 66, it all hits her like she looks like she's 98.
That's crazy, right? All of a sudden.
Yeah. It's look at that. Look at that guy. Looks like a Oompa Loompa.
Yo, man, that's.
I mean, but the races are coming together here, bro.
Yo, but it's a lot of that little group of people like pigeons over there.
What's up with that?
That's like mental disorders. You know what I'm saying? Conglomerate of mental, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like, you know what I mean? They're over there issues, bro, for days.
Right.
Motherfuckers talking to themselves. Motherfuckers got all kind of shit besides the drugs.
But see, this my thing is like, you heard them say they like who they directing it to, who's really making up the majority of the numbers, you know, out there off the fentanyl and all that, and it's like, was this pill epidemic going on behind the scenes with the Xanax and the perks and all that? Because that wasn't really a hood drug, you know what I mean? Like you had the dudes in the Bay with all them 1,000 pills and all that, but like that was kind of, you know, heavy in the rave scene, and you know I was more upper class, so it's like now the pills is like the lowest of the class. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
They
you
are.
could be in the club. They used to in the old '90s. They used to pass the pill on the tongue, make it look sexy in the club.
Now it's like that movie Wild and Wonderful Whites about those hillbillies in Appalachia. They're on, a lot of them were on OxyContin and painkillers and stuff. And the guy, he shook the prescription bottle. He's like, "What's that?" He's like, "That's the hillbilly mating call." You know, yeah. And look at this our friend. What is this? Canuck? What's his name? Canucksum. He said, "Do you folks comment? Do you folks realize that what you're doing is exactly what they've done to us, dehumanizing through mockery and ridicule? How do you think oligarchs and astropaths look at us?" Well, we're actually showing these people, and we probably showed a good like 20 minutes of this, and we were very compassionate and thinking about like, wow, this is horrible. You know, these people hope they can get help, but come on, bro, it's a fucking joke. Meaning, like, this is fucking clown world. Of course, if we saw these people on the street, we would help them. I don't know if you would, but like we probably. I mean, you know what I mean? What we do, what we could. But fuck, man, if you can't laugh at some of this shit, I don't know if you're trying to be self-righteous or what. You can come in and explain yourself. I mean, we talked the other day. You came on my broadcast, but come on, bro. Instead of in a comment, I have that link there. Speak it on the voice chat, bro. I mean, you're a wonderful writer. Let me see. Another comment. The same sneer of hierarchical supremacy that you're channeling now is what channeled at us by those who think are somehow inherently better than the common citizenry. Okay. What do you guys think about that?
Fisticuffs. People are stupid and emotionally fucking weak, yo. You feel me?
Yeah.
Weak, emotional people, stupid. You feel me? At the end of the day, you have to be able to laugh at yourself and at everything else. You know what I'm saying? And have compassion at the same time. You know what I mean?
Right.
For the most part,
exactly.
like, you know what I mean? I tried to help motherfuckers who was straight druggies that didn't want to get out of that drug life. I tried to give them mushrooms to see if they get a wake-up call and shit. Try to get an expansion of consciousness so that they could see that they're fucking filthy and dirty and stanky and need a shower and fucking go get the fuck out of here. Why you over here, bro? Like, got nothing to do with it. So you know, life is people accept that shit, you know what I mean, and they want to rather enable it than to fucking.
That's about to say enable it. Like, oh yeah. Of course. I mean, you'd be a piece of shit if you thought like this is cool and all that, bro. It's a joke. Meaning like it's the absurdity of it's a tragedy, bro. It's what else are you gonna do? You want me to cry about it? This is fucking ridiculous, bro. Come speak what you have to say instead of like writing your manuscripts down here. Don't assume what I'm saying. Just read the words themselves. No other message than I've sent, whether for you or for watchers.
Oh,
this guy.
You know, I mean, I'm guilty. I kind of like with the comparison to the rats and the experiment thing. Like, do you react to the rats or do you react to the facilitator of the bullshit of the whole? So it's like, I feel you, you know, I feel what dude's saying, you know what I mean? I feel what y'all saying too. So it's kind of like if you went to a comedy club and somebody make a joke, so people be like, you crossed the line, you know what I mean? But,
yeah, you crossed the line, yeah.
Don't come here if you're looking for lines to not be crossed.
Where's the line? You know?
Yeah. It's like when we did our Mac Train the Occult series. We're actually fucking bringing up somebody that none of y'all have talked about. I haven't heard anyone in this faggot ass, not true life shit, but like panelverse ever talk about Kensington Ave or the Zombieland drug apocalypse. Never anyone. All they talk about is like I don't know what the I don't even, bro. This is fucking stupid, bro. They talk about themselves. That's all they talk about, right? I'm projecting. We're projecting 101. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
We're looking at the footage, sir.
Yeah.
We're projecting the footage we're looking at. You need to stop.
Look at Dimitri in the chat. I'm the only true junkie.
Who can't, man? I'm done with can't.
Then get the fuck up here, then.
Can't, man.
This motherfucker. That's right. He says a comment from Canuts, and most of them don't have a genuine understanding of the open air experiment being done on the populists. Oh, thanks. Thanks, bro.
To, Utopia, yo. Let's finish that.
Okay, let's go. Soft White Underbelly, get channel for social narrative. Fuck that channel. They put a strike on me. We don't support Soft White Underbelly. He puts psyop videos of gay, literally gay porno stars saying that they're incels. But I get it. He does have some good, interesting videos. But bro, all some of us had to do was like walk out our front door and see this shit. We don't need to watch a video. We're trying to help you all. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, you want to watch the mouse universe?
Yeah, yo, because it's so interesting and deep how they made the diagram specific. They made the housing location specific, the food location specific. The things they did were very specific to how they made cities and how they made towns and stuff like that. How they made projects where they specified they didn't want people to go to the bigger. There's always like stores and stuff right there so that you don't leave, like things like that. But yo, it's just deep how they did that, man. It's crazy how.
I did a whole broadcast about it. Yeah.
They did.
It was pretty good
with the drugs too. Like they could get high as fuck, and they would get high. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they would choose to get high and not even eat food. Like they'd rather get high.
Yeah.
And then they gave them another something else that made them not want the drugs no more. It was like fuck those drugs. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yo, it's crazy, yo. The whole. Yeah, go ahead, play that.
80 before he would cull them. Almost immediately after introduction, things began to go awry. The females, unsurprisingly, spread themselves out somewhat evenly through the pens, but after the males jockeyed for dominance and those of highest rank were determined, they began to distribute themselves strangely. Less dominant male rats will typically awaken earlier and begin to wander and forage for food, and due to the design of the pen, this meant that they usually would end up in the center sections to eat. During this time, the dominant males of the outer pens would wake up and begin guarding their respective territories. Since there was only one entrance ramp to either end, the dominant males of either pen would bar the return of the less dominant males, forcing the male population to clump in the center pens, while the dominant end males protected what came to be their harems. Only a few other deferential males were allowed to remain. These few remaining males began exhibiting odd behavior, though they would spend most of their time in the burrows with the females, hiding away from the dominant male.
That's Ozo and Dimitri, Justa.
They would never attempt to mate with any of them. Instead, perplexingly, they would try to mate with the dominant male, and even more perplexing, the dominant male would not fight these attempts.
Did you guys just hear? What do you guys? Is your silence like agreeing with? Did you hear what he just said? With these scary ass rats, because of all the chaos going on, they would hide with the females, and then one of them would jump the other male's bones, and the other one wouldn't do anything about it. He let him have his way with them.
Yeah.
The dominant male would not fight these attempts with any of them. Instead, perplexingly, they would try to mate with the dominant male, and even more perplexing, the dominant male would not fight these attempts. At the same time as this was happening, the effect of Calhoun's special feeders was taking hold. Since procuring food was such a lengthy process at the hard food feeders, it was common for one rat to join another while in the process of feeding. By this method, the rats slowly became conditioned to eating in the company of other rats until, eventually, the rats would refuse to eat unless another rat was present. Since more rats tended to be in the center pens, this behavior meant that, over time, more and more rats made their way there, further condensing them. This heightened the proximity of an already cramped population.
We're literally showing the connection between Kensington Ave and open-air drug markets, and like how the Plato eugenics strategy is represented in this Mouse-topia, right? Yeah, and he says, like, we have no genuine understanding of the open-air drug experiment being done on the populace. We're literally talking about it for the last hour and 13 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Man, it don't take a
What the
fuck? To know it's the government.
Yeah, very simple. Very simple. Is it a comment from Canucksaram? Look into the culture of the Dorian Greeks, especially the Spartans, the plebs and warrior cults. An expression in the human animal of what the rat displayed. Okay. Note that. Let's move on.
In the experiments with the powdered food, this effect was far less pronounced. With these factors combined, Calhoun noted what he called a behavioral sink, or an increase in pathological activity in the rats due to the stress involved in such high population density. For the females, the behavioral sink manifested in reduced capacity for nest building and young rearing. Infant rats are extremely dependent upon their mothers for nearly all things. However, under the effects of the behavioral sink, the mothers would often be interrupted in their nest-building practices to engage in some other social activity. As time wore on, this led to sparser nests which could not house the young properly. If a mother decided to move her litter, she often would only move some of them or scatter them about the pen in separate locations. What's more, when
what they showed in the thing too was deep. They showed that the mother rats started only caring about grooming themselves,
right,
and about like, you know, getting themselves right, and they wasn't worried about the damn kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? They was out of
the Instagram woman, like a woman going live, she wants to look pretty for a little audience and just groom herself. Yeah, and the men were doing the same thing. Yeah. Okay, let me bring up Rant, our good friend Rant. How's it going, my friend? What's popping? What's up? What's popping?
Yo, the rat experiment. The rat utopia.
Exactly.
Dog.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ozo brought it up. We had talked about it a couple weeks ago on the broadcast, but yeah, you heard of this before. Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro. It ends terribly.
Not a surprise, huh?
When female rats are ready to mate.
By the way, Rant, my good friend Rant, this is Ozo and On Code, my good friends. Yeah.
All right, bro. I'll spare them my wrath, bro.
Males can sense it, and the enclosed space meant that a female could not escape the continuous advances of the males during these periods. Even when they would enter their nests for a reprieve, they would be followed in and harrowed. These factors together resulted in an extremely high infant mortality rate, in one case reaching 96%. For the males, this manifested in different ways. The dominant males would occasionally lash out in violence against the other members of the pen, including infants, often biting and wounding their tails. Among the lower-class males were three groups. The first he described as the homosexuals, which he immediately corrects as pansexuals, who would not compete for status but would often attempt to mate with any other rat, regardless of gender or age. Much like in the end pens, these advances went unchallenged. The second group he described as somnambulists, who moved slowly through the pen without interacting with other individuals in any fashion, and the other rats in turn ignored them except in rare circumstances. These rats externally he described as fat, sleek, and healthy looking. But to him, the strangest group was the third, which he named the probers. These rats were hyperactive, hypersexual, and pansexual.
Okay, gentlemen, can you break this down on how you see this being played out, those three groups? Or do you even see that being played out now?
Yeah, but it's just the groups. But he's gonna get to why because they show the group they play out like that because of the way they set up the environment. So they show as he's just labeling the groups right now, but they have to show what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like how this thing keeps going, the rabbit hole.
No,
At
for
any
sure.
point-
I'm asking you to relate it to like what you see now, though. Real quick, take a break, real quick. Like, you see these groups being played out in real time. Society,
Those, like,
yeah.
those ones that didn't play into it and wasn't all about the somnambulist ones that he's talking about. Those are the ones that were fat and they moved around slowly and they minded their business and nobody bothered them. They didn't bother nobody. They try to stay way out of the hype. And then the other ones that were the pans, those was the ones that were out of control. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then the keep going, breaking them down into different groups. But it's crazy because our society is based on does the same thing in the groups because the city life and all that stuff, none of this stuff is normal for animals, for mammals, or for like, you know what I mean? Like humans, I guess we're supposed to be in small groups, like of maybe 40 or 50, like, you know what I mean? Maybe you know what I'm saying? Maybe a little bit more than that, but 40 or 50 is a big tribe. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's one family, like a family group cluster. Like, that's how we're supposed to really operate because anything else is like, now you got all these, you got to deal with all these, strange genetics that people have, man, that they do weird stuff and they, you know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy. You want to limit yourself to exposing yourself to that, yo. You feel me? Like, it's just
absolutely.
crazy. The way society is and the way people, they just trying to keep up with the Kardashians and they're just trying to always have something to say about something. Like, you feel me? Like, always, like, it's always like, I don't know, man. It's like, people who usually have something to say really don't do shit. You feel me? People who don't talk about it, they be about it. Like, you feel me?
That's exactly the line from Nas, bro. He said, "Why shoot the breeze about it when you can be about it?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody gonna say something?
Yeah,
with this
I
rock.
was just gonna add, like, I used to always talk about natural occurrence, like organic happenings, opposed to manufactured happenings. And a lot of people be thinking the shit going on out here is natural. You know what I mean? Like natural occurrence. I'm like, nah, this is this is a response to the social setup.
Right.
Yo, there's a few problems with the experiment, though.
Okay.
So it's really hard to classify a rat, right, as gay or pansexual because they can't actually have sex. So, like, the understanding, right? You got this dominant rat. That dominant rat doesn't see another rat jumping on his back as a threat because he can't actually fuck him. And as long as that other rat is not fucking his bitches, he don't care. He's only concerned with one thing, his bitches. You know what I mean? Like another rat jumping on your back, bro, right? He can't actually fuck him. There's no such thing as rat anal sex and shit. Like, it doesn't exist. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, it might be a back massage at that point. Like honestly, like, to the rat, they don't have a comprehension. Me and you can be like, yo, I'm not letting no motherfucker get on my back. You know what I mean? But, like, to a rat, you know what I mean? They're very simple.
Yeah. In terms of using metaphor, though, like, I'm thinking of like a dude. I guess people would call him maybe like a blue pill type of dude who lets his wife or girlfriend have a lot of male friends, and like, yeah, the dude's not doing anything to him per se. However, like, you got, because
like, yo, right? Look, this rat, right? It's a very simple rat. As long as something is not trying to fight it or fuck his bitches or eat his food, he can't see them as a threat. There's no reason for him to fight it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If this rat has other rats in there, right, that are acting like women, right? He just thinks it's one of his bitches jumping on his back or whatever.
Yeah.
And he probably sees it as like enjoyable, like, yeah, massage me, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's really fucking dishonest for the scientist, whoever was running this experiment, to classify this shit in this way. And I believe it was done in this way to not only like build the experiment, but then to justify this other shit to these people, to be like, look, this is what animals do. You know what I mean? Like, also part of the agenda.
Yeah, yeah. There's a comment from Canuckson. He said, "Destiny." That's what I was thinking about too. The dude Destiny. But like what you're saying, Mike, too, because the after this experiment, a lot of other scientists, they took the results and used it to justify their own, maybe like you can say lightweight eugenics plans and population control. And even though the experimenter of this, the Utopia, Rat Utopia, he said like he doesn't agree with population control. There's other solutions you can use. Those other scientists took this experiment and ran with it. And rats aren't like humans, right? First of all, they have a smaller brain. They have a smaller brain, yeah.
We could understand certain things like rats and humans will both choose an addictive substance over food. We can understand that because like they have the same neural processes, right? And if they're on a drug that makes them not hungry, then they don't need food. They're not hungry. You know what I mean? Like yo, you got a dude who smokes meth, right? He's up every day, all day. This dude smokes meth in the morning. He's not hungry. So by midday, his meth is crashing, but he's still on meth. He's still not hungry. He's going to smoke more meth before he ever gets hungry. You know what I mean? And it's the same for a rat. If a rat's not hungry, it's not going to go for food. If it needs meth, it's going to go for the meth. It's always going to need meth before it needs food. And you could determine that, and then you can use that in a real world situation science. You know what I'm saying? But like, as far as the experiment goes with the harems and the dominant males and all this other shit, I've lived in project buildings. I've never seen a drug dealer with a harem of bitches, and I've never seen nobody that was a straight beta male fucking that drug dealer in the butthole. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really in line with reality.
Only at Puffy parties does this stuff happen.
No Diddy, yeah. No
it might
Diddy.
be Puffy parties, you know what I'm saying? It definitely might happen.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
These rats were hyperactive, hypersexual, and pansexual. Despite violence from the dominant males, they would viciously pursue females in heat, eschewing any sort of courtship ritual and following them into their burrows to mate. Later on in the experiments, they would often find the corpses of the improperly cared for young, which they would cannibalize. In time, one of Calhoun's assistants would publicly describe these pens as hell. At this point, Calhoun ended the experiments, but he predicted that these pathological changes would have eventually led to the deaths of the colonies. At their conclusion, he would take the 4 healthiest males and females and allow them to breed, but their behavior had been so inexorably altered that none of their pups survived beyond weaning.
That goes to the what we read about Plato's Republic, about only the elites would be able to choose who they breed with, the so-called elites. Yeah. But even then, they said even in this experiments, even when the superior rats were able to breed, their shit was all fucked up still. They're in line. That's why you see a lot of these like upper class people, some of them, they're all like, they look like inbred. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, the inbreeding for the upper class people is to maintain their bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They have specific DNA that they can only preserve it through inbreeding. Otherwise, they lose information.
That's how you do with dogs.
Yeah, there's a fine line you have, right, Ozo? You can't not too close, right?
So, perfect example is the Fluffy Frenchie. We got a Fluffy, so we got a male. So if we breed this male Fluffy to 3 females, right? The 3 females, they can't be related to each other. They can't be sisters. They have to be 3 females because the 3, if they're 3 females that are not related to each other, they represent 3 different bloodlines, right? So I could take that one male, breed him to those 3 females, and when those 3 females have puppies, since you need 2 copies of the fluffy gene in order to make a fluffy dog, visual fluffy, the puppies are gonna come out carriers. None of them are gonna be fluffy like the father, but they're all gonna be his pups, and they're all gonna carry 1 copy of his genetics because when you carry 2 copies, everybody gets one no matter what. So now I have 3 litters that are his. Now I take his litters, and I take 1 male puppy from one of those litters, and another male from one of the other litters. It doesn't matter because there's 3 litters. So I could take 2 males from either one of those 2 litters, 1 male from either one of those litters, right? And take 2 of them. And now I take those 2 males, and I could breed him to all the females that are not in his litter, and in the other litters. And the same thing with the other male. Breed him to all the females that are not in his litter and to the other litter. So now all those females will get pregnant from males that have the same father as them females, because
And they all got the fluffy gene.
and they all have the fluffy gene. So now all the grandkids are gonna come out fluffy, 2 copies of the grandfather, and they're gonna look exactly like the grandfather. They're gonna be clones of this motherfucker, and they're gonna be, and you know what I'm saying. And so every time you breed these dogs, the soft spot, they need a cushion in between genetics, because if you put too much of the same genetics, the genetics comes out twisted. It comes out too tight. It comes out with Benzino back, or it comes out with
Benzino back.
Yeah, it
Mike
comes out
Bobotsky.
yeah, or it comes out looking weird because you got too much of the genetics tied together. So they have to have the cushion of separate genetics that are not related to the original dog. So that's why they call it outcross. You have to do an outcross. You know what I mean? You can't just do brother to sister breeding, because people who do that, the dogs always come out with defects, with hearing problems, seeing problems, genetic defects, all kind of congenital defects that, you know what I mean, is caused by that. That's why in England and the places you'll see congenital defects a lot in families. Like they have the same stupid something, like, you know what I mean? And it's like
slack jaw.
It's also because when you have no new genetics going into a bloodline, and you just have that same copy being repeated over and over again, it loses information. Like if you take a piece of paper, right, and write some shit on it, and then fucking put it in a copy machine, copy it, and take the copy and copy to copy and copy to copy.
Yeah.
Eventually, you won't even be able to see what the fuck's on the page.
Yeah. Rad, that's why it's wild to hear that old, like, trying to breed Europeans back into dominance or whatever. Yeah. Like hearing those dudes talk about that stuff. It's like, come on, bro. The whole planet's going to be looking like Obama.
The planet's going to look like people in Brazil. That's what everybody.
Yeah, right. Yeah, totally. We got a comment from Canuck.
Yo,
what do you say? Yo,
if you want to know what the world's going to look like, bro, it's going to look like Sicilians. Because, I mean, if you look at the history.
Like you?
I mean, Sicilians. I don't represent the image of every Sicilian. You know what I mean? That's the crazy thing. You got Sicily was at war for 1,000 years, bro, and was conquered by a million. Like, it was conquered by fucking, I want to say like at least 10 different fucking bloodlines that are very different. You know, you got Moors, Vikings, Jews, Romans, Greeks. You got all kinds of shit. Barbary pirate. You got all kinds of genetics going into Sicily by force, right? And it's through warfare. And so, essentially, you have a melting pot there in Sicily, 1,000 years melting pot. And what you come out with is people that are melanated, right? That could range from fucking light to dark. And then you have all different kinds of looks, too. You got, like, some Sicilians. I've seen Sicilians with blonde hair, blue eyes, and then you have dark hair, dark skin. All different.
Yeah, that's what Ozo's talking about Brazil. A lot of people look like that, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you ever have one nation that's been hyper like mixed, that's what the world is going to be. You know what I mean, it's going to be like to the point where you're going to just have all kinds of genetics springing out of that.
I think my son's every quote unquote race. He's Asian, black, white. Am I missing anything? Is there another red? Is that one? It's
real funny because Sicilians just say we are Sicilian, right? But that's not like, what the fuck is that genetic exactly?
I don't know, what I'm saying? I know they're very proud of it, the ones I know.
Yeah, but at the
I'm
end of the
very
day,
proud of it.
right? It's really a bunch of different genetics.
It's
You know what I mean?
mixed.
It's like, imagine if I tell my kids, right, that are half Sicilian and half Cuban, right, that they are a new a new race. Like, oh, you guys are Cubecilian, right? So now they're not two races; they're just one thing now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, high-powered hybrid. We got this comment. It'll go into segue into what I wanted to show you guys real quick. He said a horrifying version of the rat utopia experiments with the hell of the Romanian orphanages that was revealed around the time of the someone's demise, whatever. Romanian orphanage. I've seen those videos on like Primetime Live back in the day, and those kids were a lot of them had mental issues, and they were like swaying back and forth and just like in bad shape. And
Yeah,
I
that's
want to
me.
show you. There you go, huh?
Yo,
Yeah.
mental issues comes with genetic diversity.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they was right though about the Brazilians though, because men now we like from my whole generation, we always like girls with big booties and all that, and now girls took it to an extreme with the BBLs and all that stuff.
BBL.
But in
Yeah.
Brazil, they're naturally all shades, colors, big butt. Like the girls out
They
there,
do.
crazy. They look exactly like most people want everywhere, and they even come in
Right.
redhead. They come in every color. They come all different shades. So dark, like Indian dark hair, or redhead, blonde. They come in every shade. Gold skin, like it's crazy. They look over there. But
Yeah,
it's
man. That's why everyone wants to go there.
yeah.
And speaking of rat utopia in Romania, this is from a couple weeks ago. This is Tekashi 6ix9ine had a concert in Romania. Let me just show a little bit of this real quick.
Hold on. You know what's so crazy? Yo, bro, I beef with a lot of rappers.
Look at this
I
shit.
don't give a fuck because at the end of the day,
Look at this slice of life at a concert nowadays. All the phones. This shit is wild. Yeah. These are Romanian orphanage babies, all grown up. We have crack babies in the U.S. They have.
I myself, listen, all the rappers I beef with, I actually love them niggas. I don't give a fuck. I don't hide from nobody. Y'all
When they
see me,
used
I
to
be
hold
with
up
no
lighters and
security.
phones.
I really be with no security.
Yeah, that's that new lighter, right?
But it's not
New
about
lighter,
fuck
bro.
City Morgue, fuck Trippy Red. At the end of the day, we love everybody. Romania, thank you so fucking much. You guys are able to feed my family, do all of that. Make some fucking noise. That shit.
What'd you say? Hold on. This is the concert nowadays. People they're their own hype man. They don't even rap. Look at this shit. It's not even on beat.
He's so cringe. Yeah, listen, that just makes me like want to Homer Simpson into the bushes, and it's like, all right, planet's gonna blow up. I'm out of here. You guys are all set. You guys want it.
Homer Simpson. Look at this. He's that movie Idiocracy. Canucksaram. He said that him and the Island Boys should form a band. That'd be a power group. Really. Look at this shit. The high-powered fuckery. Oh, he's gonna stage dive.
Yo,
Holy
this
shit.
dude had to go to Romania, bro. You know what I mean?
Romania, bro. I know. That's where they filmed Borat. Rant. That's where they filmed Borat. In Romania. They did.
Yo, I'm just saying, bro. Like,
They should let him come in space from up there, yo. That would have been dope.
They would have parted.
If they would have parted, let him land on his face, that would have been fire.
That would have been
No,
great.
that happened to him before. You saw that one, like when earlier in his career, like he
Show it
did
to
that
me.
at a club. Okay, I'll show it to you. So give you some pleasure off that.
Yeah, get him out. Fell off there fast first, face first. That's out of control.
Yo, y'all ever see the video of 6ix9ine getting beat up?
Oh, in the bathroom at the
Yeah,
Planet
bro, he
Fitness.
got walked up in the bathroom, bro.
He just dude is cringe. Is just
Here we go, guys. This is for you, Ozo. You ready?
Wham.
Did you see that?
Yeah. Show it to us.
Gypsies. Bro, when they make it that happened more than once.
Yo, but because this dude is so cringe though. It's like why are you so it's like you just justify yourself with just people out in the, like if you're like
I don't know, man.
that ill, they're gonna catch you, like your fans are that hype about you,
Right.
like you feel me, like you're wilding.
Yeah, they were definitely wild. Yeah, and then a comment from Canucks Sharam. They were in Romanian village to film the Borat scene. They were not typical Romanians. Yeah, that's right. They weren't. Yeah, that's not typical Romanian people. And even the people in that village were pissed off when they went back over there and they showed them the video. They were like, "Fuck that guy for making fun of us." Because those
Yeah,
gypsies have pride.
They probably had
Yeah.
trash over there too, nothing but trash from all those people.
Mhm. Lots of inbreeding. Yeah, it says. What did you say? You trash. What did you say, Mike? What did you ask?
No, I was
bring
just
up?
saying that, like, yo, he can't rock in the States because, like,
Oh, when he got beat up. That's right. You said. Yeah.
yo, he's got a list of like hood unacceptable behaviors. All right.
Yeah. Well, he snitched on his gang.
Yo, he snitched, right? He fucked a girl, right? Like a 16-year-old or some shit.
Mm.
He's like, he got caught, like he's fucking just everything. He got robbed. Like he has no more credit on the street. Like they're just gonna kill him if he comes. So he's gotta go to Romania, bro.
Yeah. You know what though? Early, that's what he did too. He was going over there when he had his first buzz years ago. He went over there because those motherfuckers are gonna pay him like hella money because they don't. No disrespect, but they don't know better. Probably.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't know who the fuck he is. You know, if I went to
Yeah.
go watch a concert and they told me, yo, this dude is mad famous in Bulgaria and he's the best fucking opera singer, you know what I mean? What the fuck do I know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even speak
Daniel.
English.
Mhm. He's Mexican and Puerto Rican, I think. Yeah. Look at these guys. These guys with the Edgar beat him up, and the Baldies.
He was also claiming blood, bro, and the Bloods were like, nope, that's not our dude.
Yeah, the bad thing about it is his manager, the ex gang leader, Shorty, he like supposedly boned his wife when he was in jail.
Yeah, because he's not a real person, bro.
Look how he
This dude
looks.
is fugazi, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He went over last year. He was in Mexico trying to get a wave there. I noticed him on with a lot of these Mexican pop groups and shit. Like trying to all of a sudden he's Mr. Mexican, and then I wouldn't doubt if he went to Puerto Rico too. And now, but yeah, that's 6ix9ine though. That's 6ix9ine. We're talking about the rat experiment. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, so Zombieland, open air drug market, psychedelic psyop, rolling loud. This has been Surfing the Apocalypse. I'm about to bounce. You guys have any final thoughts? Anything you want to share? The floor is yours. Rant.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't be the alpha rat or you're going to get fucked in the ass. All right?
Yeah. You top that, man? Can you top that or bottom that, Ozo?
I'm good.
You're good. Yeah. Yeah. On code. Thanks for coming by, my friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, everybody. Yeah. You have any final thoughts?
That was a lot, man.
Yeah.
I never heard about the rat thing, so I'm still, you know, that was a lot.
Yeah. That was pretty wild, man. And you're right. Like, I'm glad Rant brought that up too. Ozer brought it up. The actual reminded me to show that. And then also Rant kept the thing honest by saying that, like, yeah, there's some similarities to humans, but let's not forget that rats and humans are different. But the point is too, though, both those groups were in fucked up situations, be it in the rat utopia and Kensington, you know.
I think what the experiment really shows is that when you trap a bunch of fucking anything in a little box, they do erratic shit.
They do. Yeah. And don't get caught up in the box, the panelverse. And shout out to Canuck Saram. Yeah, I got a little heated a little bit with your comment, but I'll take it. Thank you for sharing that, because yeah, it is great to show compassion, and that's a civilized thing to do. But you know what, man? Instead of getting angry, sometimes I just gotta laugh at this shit, because it's pretty fucked up, man. But my intentions are good though, and I don't have to explain myself, but I wanted to, you know. And I appreciate you guys, you gentlemen, for being here.
Thanks for having us, bro. Thanks for the fucking clips. Interesting show.
Yeah. Let's do this again. On code, what is this? You have that great 2 other topics. The next topic, you remember? I have to look on my phone.
Yeah.
Let me see.
I know one was some red pill shit. And
Yeah, that's the third one.
Jeez.
Project 2025 and how it relates to what's going on. You know, that Project 20, because everybody's losing their mind on that shit. And I mean, if it happens, I can see why. But then again, in this alternative media, I think we need to pick it apart a little bit to see what's true and what's not true about it. You know, and yeah, we'll do that next time, probably in a couple days. All right, Ozo. And on code. Stay on for a second, guys, real quick. Let me play the outro. So this has been Surfing the Apocalypse, episode 17, Zombieland, open air drug market, psychedelic psyop, rolling loud, and rat shithole. 6'9". And in the coming days, we'll see you next time here on Surfing the Apocalypse.